It's the beginning of April and the snow has finally turned into rain. And I can slowly start to feel the earth waking up again. And don't get me wrong, we still have quite a bit of snow and quite a bit of time until we can actually be out in the yard, in the garden, actually planting things in the ground. But there are a few things that I am starting now so that we have good, plentiful crops come the end of summer and midsummer, hopefully. Previously, I have planted my pepper plants and started some loofah plants, and I have been counting down the days until April so that I can finally plant my tomato plants. Now, tomato plants are a staple crop. I know for sure, 100,000% these are a staple crop for us. Not only do we just love fresh tomatoes, tomatoes are something we always have in our fridge. We are big tomato sauce people for pastas, for marinara sauces for different things, for pizza sauces. They're big, important thing for us. And like I said in my original video of planning out my garden this year, if all else fails, I'll be bummed. But the one thing, no matter what, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, looking after our tomato plants. They are so important, and we're gonna have hopefully quite a few plants this year. So today we are planting tomatoes. Amish paste, which are a sauce tomato. They have a lot more pulp and like meat to them than they do water and like the watery liquid inside of the tomato. Homestead tomatoes, which are, again, they're a beefier tomato, but not quite like a paste tomato from what I've read at least. And then we got a beefsteak variety, which are my fiance's favorite variety of tomatoes. These are Sicilian saucer red beefsteak tomatoes, which are very fun. And then finally, for what I have right now that I'm planting right now, are these red currant tomato sweet pea variety. Tomatoes are a crop that you start indoors about 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. Now, at the rate we're going, April 1st, that would put us May 1st. End of May, beginning of June for our last frost. I don't know that we're on track for that here, but we've had longer winters. We sort of skip over spring. I'm not gonna lie. We don't get like the really pretty, like nice spring with everything just starting to cut. It's like snow, mud season, and then summer. First, I'm gonna plant them in my leftover little pods that I have because that's what I have. I also have a little pepper plant that decided to start coming up last minute, so we're leaving that one. But in all of these little pods, these pods are, I wet them enough so that they're expanded fully, but I haven't watered them in a couple days just so that they're still moist soil, but it's not wet soil. Also, I want to show you guys my pepper plants after because they're doing really good, and so are my loofahs. Exciting. Another way that I'm going to be planting the tomatoes, I'm just using, we have this strawberry container. It's good for drainage. I'm just going to fill it up with some of my pre-mixed soil. And we're gonna plant some in there too. For Amish paste, we're gonna plant the whole seed packet. I get all my seeds from, or I've gotten all my seeds from Heirloom Seeds Canada. So they're all heirloom varieties. This and this are all Amish paste. And something to note with your tomato plants are whether or not they're a determinate or an indeterminate variety. All of the ones I chose are indeterminate, meaning they are almost like a vining tomato plant is the way I sort of make sense of it in my brain. They grow an indeterminate amount of height. They average 1.2 to 1.8 meters tall, but they're more of a straight up, whereas determinate tomato plants are shorter, almost not bush variety, but they're a shorter plant. They grow only a certain height and then they stop growing after that and they bush out a little more. Now I think in this strawberry container, I'm gonna do half the beefsteak and then half the little, because I don't want as many of the little tiny cherry tomatoes. I'm going to water all of this that I planted and transplanted really good, because you always water your seeds in, water your seedlings in. Make sure the soil really connects with the seeds that we just planted, because that is what jumpstarts the germination process. And then we're gonna add it to our ever-growing collection of seeds and seedlings. So we have Amish paste, Sicilian, beef steaks, and then a row of the cherry tomatoes. And then over here, on my floor, where the sunlight is right now, we have pepper plants, one little cauliflower, and then my 2 loofahs that are in very different stages of life. So with that, we have planted all of our seeds that we're starting this year. So that is everything that I am not going to be direct sowing into the ground has been planted. So now we just have to wait and see how many tomato plants are gonna pop up, and then we have to keep them alive until Mother Nature decides that we're worthy of spring. So I was just about to feed my sourdough starter, because tomorrow is sourdough day. And then I kind of got the itch to make a discard recipe instead of just getting rid of the sourdough starter. So I remembered I wanted to try this sourdough discard chocolate chip cookie recipe, because I've seen so many people say that sourdough discard cookies are better than normal cookies. And it's sourdough, so I can't see why it wouldn't be. I'll put the link for the recipe that I'm following in the description if it turns out really good. But it's by Wild Thistle Kitchen. As always, our scale. Probably. Need 110 grams of brown sugar, 100 grams of white sugar, the yolk of an egg. Oh, I broke it, I gotta do it. I am like itching to have the windows open, but it's not quite warm enough. But like the day that I can open all of the windows in this house, I'm so excited. The star of the show, our discard. It's about half a cup or 140 grams of discard. So a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Salt, 2 cups of flour. Now, my sourdough discard, I tend to keep my sourdough starter thicker than a lot of people do, meaning there's less liquid in it. So I'm probably gonna do like 2, or the recipe calls for 2 cups of flour. I'm probably gonna start off with like 1.5 and see where the consistency is at. And then if I need the full 2, I'll add it, but. Chocolate chips. I don't think I've ever once measured chocolate chips. I measure with my heart. Seems good to me. Now I'm just going to scoop out about 2 tablespoons for each cookie, about 1 inch apart, and then we're gonna bake them. There's our cookies, and we're gonna put them in the oven at 350 for about 8 to 9 minutes. So the first round of cookies are done and they look so good. I'm gonna let them sit on the baking sheet for like 5-10 minutes, just until they cool enough that I can take them off and put them on a cooling rack without them hopefully falling apart. And then we will bake, I guess, the rest of the dough. Okay, while the other ones are cooking, I have to try one while it's warm. The bottoms are like just like perfect golden brown. Let's see. Those are pretty good. They're like, I don't want to say they're cakey because I don't like a cakey cookie, and I really like these. This recipe might get added to the recipe box. These are so good. The second batch of cookies came out, and they're a little smaller, but I have to. There's another warm batch out. I gotta. These ones look better. I think smaller cookies are better with this style. So today we got everything planted that we are starting from seed indoors, which is a huge thing checked off the list. Now we just gotta get them to grow. And we gave ourselves a little sweet treat with our sourdough cookies. And I'll put the link in the description for this recipe because it is definitely worth it. It's so good. And if you want to see what else I am planning on planting once all of this snow is finally gone. I seen the first patch of like grass the other day and it made me way too happy. Then you can check out this playlist here where I talk about all the things that I want to grow and what I've started from seed. And I will see you guys next week.